Hello everyone, it's Clarissa with That Dumb Movie Show, and of course I wanted to do Deadpool 2 this week, but I'm aware it's been out in the UK at least a couple of days, so I thought, hey, let's take another opportunity to do a spoiler review so we can get into a little bit more of the story and a few of the surprises. So let me do that warning again. Spoilers! Although I don't know if I really have that much to contribute to the Deadpool debate. I don't really sit in either camp. I'm not a hater out there going, oh, they're so unimaginative and juvenile, these movies, and at the same time I'm not wildly into them. They're not particularly tapping into my sense of humor, so I'm just sort of sitting in this vague non-committal middle. And look, I'm just gonna lay it out on the table here. I'm sure lots of other people in their reviews are gonna be wheeling out their best Deadpool-esque one-liners, but I will not be doing that because I will fail. I don't know, like, I just say like, ooh, Deadpool 2 is funnier than a dick, like, because I should say dick, right? Like a dick taped to, what's like something from the 90s, like a dick taped to a pog with Jim Carrey from The Mask on it. You see, that was terrible and I'm embarrassed that I tried. Deadpool 2 isn't gonna change anyone's mind about Deadpool, right? It's just doubling down on what came before, and so I've sort of just doubled down on my slightly whatever opinion. It's just that the joke rate is really hit or miss for me, and it's partially a personal preference that I don't really like quip humor, just the fact that everything has to be a reference to something else, and it's a problem that I had with Avengers Infinity War. You know, it's like Deadpool will call Negasonic Teenage Warhead 11 because she has a shaved head, kind of like 11 from Stranger Things, and then he'll call Domino Black Widow because she's a badass lady, kind of like Black Widow, but also she's black, and it's like, it's kind of endless, and I don't know, I just feel like those jokes are a little too easy to write, if you know what I mean. But I do find it hard to muster up any negative feelings about this film because just every single line of dialogue has been created with such an overwhelming sense of joy. You know, the guys behind this, the writers, Reese, Paul Wernick, and of course Ryan Reynolds, who at this point is just on a life mission to become Deadpool. You know, they're creating these movies in absolute disbelief that they're allowed to create these movies, and so they're putting it all out there, and I think, yeah, they're trying to push boundaries, but not to rile anybody up, but just out of a sense of fun. I've got to say, I probably actually laughed the most at the mid-credit scene, which hopefully you guys all caught, but it did involve Deadpool going back in time using Cable's device, which is now fixed, to do a few things. One of them is to go into X-Men Origins Wolverine and kill that really abominable version of Deadpool, and also killing Ryan Reynolds before he had a chance to do Green Lantern, which, as somebody who's still haunted by that movie, I really did appreciate. I just like the idea that this entire film was just the setup to one joke about Ryan Reynolds' poor career choices. The Deadpool movies just have such a good-natured spirit about them, and you know, like this film being all about trying to find your family wherever you can, even if they're flawed, and I will forgive it for blatantly ripping off Hunt for the Wilder People. I mean, come on, you have Julian Dennison. I know he's a mutant in this, but he's still a juvenile delinquent who literally calls himself gangster at one point, and then you have the reluctant father figure in Deadpool, but, you know, basically he's Sam Neill trying to stop this kid before he goes too far in his rage against society. I mean, it's the same, right? It's the same, guys, but I will forgive it, and Julian Dennison is just such a superstar. I love him. What a cool kid. That brings us rather naturally to the X-Force, which I know it was a good joke to kill them off so quickly, but I'm a little bit sad because they were a sick team. I mean, you had Terry Crews, Louis Tan, Skarsgård. I mean, I guess they can come back because of the mid-credit scene, but at least Peter's okay. And you know, I do feel the same about Domino actually, because I know she was in so much more of the film, but I feel barely acquainted with her. And you know, it's because this film is so Deadpool centric. Everyone around him feels a little bit like an accessory, which, you know, to bring in a character as interesting as Domino, played by an actor as interesting as Zazie Beetz, who is so good on Atlanta, you know, and just to have her there to roll her eyes at Deadpool's jokes, it feels a little bit like a wasted opportunity. Because at the end of the day, that's what makes the Deadpool movies so fun, but it's also their biggest problem. It's the pursuit of the joke above everything else, and I think that becomes especially transparent when you look at how Vanessa is treated, because they fridge her. They straight up fridge her, which, if you don't know, is a term for when films or TV will kill off a wife or a girlfriend or a love interest so that they can give the male protagonist a little bit of angst, which is exactly what Deadpool 2 does, and it's kind of an annoying trope, and this film doesn't really do anything to really deconstruct it or examine it. It just seems more like that entire event is the setup to the joke of the opening credits, because, you know, Bond movies basically invented fridging women, and the opening credits are extremely Bond-esque. Instead of elegantly writhing naked women, you have an elegantly writhing Deadpool, and you have that beautiful Celine Dion song playing, and, you know, it's a good joke, but I just don't know if it's worth that lame of a plot setup. So there you go. I told you I didn't really have anything that crazy to add to the Deadpool debate. I had fun with it, but there were definitely some peaks and troughs. One thing I will say though is that I am glad these movies exist, because I would much rather watch a blockbuster by someone who has some personal investment in it, you know, because of how long it took for the first Deadpool to be made, how much it was originally deemed a risk. It was a film that people fought for, and I think that really does translate on screen, even in the sequel, and I think, you know, that can make the difference sometimes. But if you've had a chance to see Deadpool 2, I would love to know what you guys thought. You can let me know down in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Twitter, details down in that description box. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can hang out and talk about movies. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.